James Hetfield was born in Downey, California in 1963, raised in a strict Christian Science family, broken by divorce. When James was a teenager, cancer claimed his mother's life.
Doctors and hospitals are kind of like taboo, and with the help of God, you will get better. You know, you're kind of going with it, but you feel it's not quite right, and you're at school, and okay, now it's time for health class, and I have to get up and leave. You know, learning about the body wasn't necessary. This is a shell, and what's true is your soul, and all this. So actually leaving class and then getting, you know, all the little kids. So that was the beginning of alienation, I believe, as a child.
Back then, James was like the most introverted person you've ever seen. He didn't really talk. Anytime you'd see him, he'd just, hey, how's it going? He'd pick up his guitar and just start jamming away, you know.
In 1963, on the other side of the globe, Lars Ulrich was born to a prominent Danish tennis pro. For a time, he was groomed to follow in his father's footsteps.
The thing was that in Denmark, I was somebody, you know, ranked sort of somewhere in the top 10s in my junior years and so on. When I came to the States in like 1980, I was basically like, I mean, I wasn't even ranked in the top 10 of the block I lived on.
In the beginning, he was sort of kind of an air guitar guy, you know, and going completely, you know, crazy with his broomstick or whatever, or a kind of a racket, you know. Of course, a tennis racket can also be sort of an air guitar, right?
Drums had been the kind of hobby away from tennis, and at the tail end of 1979, there was what was called the new wave of British heavy metal. Iron Maiden, Def Leppard, Motorhead, Sax, like Tigers of Pantang, Diamond Head, Angel Witch, you know, the list goes on. It was the attitude. The attitude came from Motorhead.
Rock and roll is supposed to bring you craze, joy and rebellion for no apparent reason, for its own sake, right? That's what it started out as, music to fish your parents off.
James and Lars met in Los Angeles in 1981, drawn together by fate, and the musicians wanted ads in a local paper.
You know, under heavy metal, there were two guys, and it was me and him. Lars had this drum kit. It was 10 different colors, one cymbal. He hit it, it kept falling over.
Finally, he sits down and he's just like, I'm going, you sure this guy played drums before?
What Lars may have lacked musically, he more than made up for with his personal connections in the heavy metal scene. Lars had a friend who was producing a compilation album featuring local metal bands.
Lars called me up and said, hey, if I put together a band, can I be on your compilation album? I said, yeah, absolutely, no problem.
Lars had really had a spot on the record, but no band. So, in my will and maybe greediness to get going in this thing, said, okay, we'll hook up.
The band had a spot reserved on an upcoming album. Soon they had a second guitarist, Dave Mustaine.
I went in there and I set up my gear, started warming up, and these guys were in the other room. I walked in there and I said, no, let's go. And they said, you got the job. And I went, that was easy.
In 1981, Metallica's frenetic two-guitar sound was a direct assault on LA's softcore glam rock scene.
We weren't doing what they were doing. They were playing pretty much cheeky music because they wanted the girls, and all we wanted to do was rule the world.
If you came here to see spandex and big hair, this ain't your band. And that was kind of became our war cry, you know.
Metallica met with an apathetic response in the LA clubs, which only served to fuel their aggressive play.
That developed our style. We were up on stage, we wanted attention. We're gonna play louder, we're gonna play faster.
In the winter of 1981, a benefit from Metal Mania magazine brought the band to San Francisco. The city was a hotbed for the new heavy metal movement.
Everybody just wanted to make the most obnoxious, loudest, scary parents, annoy people, fastest music you could.
The heavy crunch stuff was way new, and everybody loved it, you know. It tickles your same kind of funny bone that makes you break windows when you're a kid.
One of those Bay Area fans was Exodus guitarist Kirk Hammett.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was the most original, heaviest, fastest thing I had ever seen in my life.
By the time Metallica returned to Los Angeles, tensions within the band were building. Dave Mustaine's drinking was getting out of hand.
But there was always some clashing between Ron and Dave. Ron couldn't hang. Didn't want to be part of it anymore.
Ron was soon out. Metallica was in the market for a new bassist.
Lars had asked me, they were kind of looking around for another bass player. He asked me if I knew anybody. I said, well, why don't you guys come down and see this band Trauma and Troubadour? They're pretty cool. I think you might like the bass player.
I feel soft and cool. I've never seen anybody quite like on stage.
And his head banging on stage, I mean, nobody banged like Jim. It was insane. I remember the first time I saw him play with him, I was like, oh my God, look at that guy. And the next day after the performance, he get up, God, my neck. Cliff, what do you mean? Your neck. You're bouncing your hand up and down all night long and wonder why your neck hurts. But anyway, he kind of smiled.
You know, after 6 months recording, and I just came to the point where he would join the band on that one condition, which was if he wanted him in the band, tell him to go to Northern California.
We really had no problem with that. LA wasn't treating us very well at all.
Metallica moved to San Francisco in the spring of 1983 and rented a small house in El Cerrito. These were lean times for the band, but they had found a home for their unique brand of metal.
We just moved all the furniture out of the house and invite 50 headbanging friends over, put Phantom on the stereo, and just thrash the place, you know.
By the time you walk in the club, you're just like, no rules. That guy's got the blonde stripe his hair. Kill him. Kiss him. Motley Crue Creed.
There was kids with denim jackets on that had Metallica patches on the back, and the support band was playing, and they turned around, they turned their backs on them, and we're standing there doing this, you know. And it's like, wow, they're loyal to us. They're our people, you know.
In 1983, Metallica had moved to San Francisco to join forces with eccentric bass genius Cliff Burton. When Lars circulated Metallica's 7-song demo, No Life Till Leather, the band became an underground sensation.
That they had this huge, giant
John
following
Bush. I
before
love
they even
John
really
Bush.
had a record out.
Metallica's demo wound up in the hands of Johnny and Marcia Zazula, who ran a music flea market in New Jersey called Rock and Roll Heaven. It was the East Coast capital of the growing metal movement.
Metallica was the answer to America's prayers. They were the first band we heard that really made America look
They gave
good.
the American headbang or something to hang your hat on.
Johnny Z offered to manage Metallica and to secure them a recording deal.
So we come out to New York and we meet this guy who was giving us, $75 to drive across the country. It's like, hi, I'm Metallica. Hi, I'm Johnny Z. Well, John, come here. Well, you see that guy with Dave Mustaine? We're actually going to get rid of the next week. Whoa.
And we all got up early one morning and walked into the other room where Dave was sleeping. And
Shake, shake, shake. Dave wakes up and rolls over. What's going on, guys?
I look up and I see the fourth, and they said, you're out of the band. I said, what, no warning, no second chance?
the famous line, Dave, you're out of the band. When's my plane leave?
Spending the next 4 days on a Greyhound bus that leaves in 45 minutes to pack your together. Let's go to the bus station before you know I hit you. What the hell's that?
No sooner had Dave Mustaine boarded a bus than Kirk Hammett arrived in New York to audition for the band.
The first song we played was Seek and Destroy. And Kirk pulled off this solo and was like, things are going to be all right, man.
And we went to the studio and recorded Kill 'Em All. From then on, I thought, well, I guess I'm in the band.
We parlayed everything we had to make this Kill 'Em All record. We thought this was an amazing record. It was a classic.
My God, so are that.
The International Metal Underground was primed for Metallica's first album, Kill 'Em All, and sales soared to over 300,000. The band toured Europe and America for most of 1983, supporting the album and widening their audience.
They lived it, they breathed it, they slept it, metal. And the kids did the same exact thing.
We were very proud that we were four regular guys in street clothes getting up there and jamming.
Why should you change when on stage? You know, we're not trying to be something fancy, you know, it's just us doing what we do. We just keep it that way.
In 1984, the new American metal scene had found a champion in Metallica. When the band's second album, Ride the Lightning, was picked up by Elektra Records, it quickly went gold.
Because of the buzz that they created live, it just worked out perfectly for Elektra. So it was one of those things that felt like a no-brainer. Just we put out the record, and because of word of mouth, kids just started buying it.
On the road, Metallica's unabashed love of alcohol became the stuff of legend. So much so, the press took to calling them
Alcoholica.
Alcoholica.
Alcoholica. Justified. Absolutely.